In a significant breakthrough in the investigation of the devastating January wildfire that tore through Los Angeles' Pacific Palisades neighborhood, authorities have made an arrest. The wildfire, which became the most destructive in Los Angeles history, killed 12 people, destroyed more than 6,000 homes and buildings, and left a community shattered. On January 7th, the blaze reignited with ferocity, fueled by high winds, causing widespread destruction. Federal law enforcement officials, along with local authorities, have now announced the arrest of 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht, a suspect in the case. The fire started on New Year's Day, initially appearing to be extinguished. However, the fire smoldered underground, creating a dangerous and unpredictable situation. According to investigators, the fire reignited on January 7th due to the combination of dry conditions, high winds, and the remnants of the initial flames. The sudden reignition caused panic as residents were forced to evacuate their homes, which had already been ravaged by the earlier fires. With the fire burning through dense forests and residential areas, the neighborhood was essentially leveled, and thousands of residents were displaced. The wildfire's destruction was widespread, affecting not only homes and businesses, but also the infrastructure that connected the community. The fire destroyed multiple luxury properties along the coast, including several high-end homes, making the tragedy even more pronounced in a region known for its affluent residents. The Pacific Palisades, a picturesque community known for its ocean views, was unrecognizable after the flames had passed through, leaving only charred remnants of the once thriving area. Federal investigators since determined that the fire was not accidental, but instead intentionally set. Authorities were quick to focus their investigation on arson due to the unique characteristics of the fire's spread. It started with a small flame that appeared to be under control, but when the high winds hit, the situation quickly spiraled out of control. The fire's behavior was unlike other wildfires, which led authorities to suspect foul play. Investigators quickly ruled out other potential causes, such as fireworks, lightning strikes, power lines, or discarded cigarettes, which are often common culprits in California wildfires. Jonathan Rinderknecht, a Florida resident, was named as the suspect in the arson case. Authorities were able to track him down and arrest him on charges of starting the fire. Rinderknecht initially fled the scene after the fire broke out, but later returned to the area, where he reportedly observed the situation unfolding. His actions were seen as suspicious. Investigators began scrutinizing his whereabouts and activities in the days following the fire. The investigation revealed that Rinderknecht had been less than forthcoming during his interview with law enforcement officials. He initially lied about his location during the fire, claiming he was near the bottom of the hiking trail, when in reality, he had been in the vicinity of the fire's origin. Authorities were able to track down Rinderknecht after a nationwide manhunt, eventually apprehending him in Florida. He was transported back to California to face charges related to the deadly wildfire. The arrest is seen as a major development in the case, which had been under investigation for months. The authorities believe that Rinderknecht's actions were not just a case of negligence, but a deliberate attempt to cause harm. As the evidence suggests that the fire was set intentionally, he now faces multiple charges related to arson, destruction of property, and the deaths caused by the fire. The arrest of Rinderknecht has brought some relief to the victims and families who have been affected by the disaster. Many have expressed their frustration and anger at the authorities' inability to prevent the fire in the first place, as well as the loss of life and property that resulted. In addition to the 12 lives lost, countless others were displaced. With families and businesses struggling to rebuild in the aftermath of the fire, the damage to the community is still being assessed, with officials estimating that the total cost of the damage could run into the billions of dollars. One of the most troubling aspects of this case is the role of law enforcement and emergency services in the lead up to the fire's devastation. An external review released in September found that outdated emergency alert systems, coupled with insufficient resources, played a significant role in the delayed evacuation warnings that exacerbated the situation. Residents reported receiving delayed or confusing notifications, which left many scrambling to evacuate at the last minute. In some cases, the emergency service's inability to respond quickly enough contributed to the chaos, leading to more fatalities and property damage. The Pacific Palisades neighborhood, which was once a vibrant and bustling community, has now become a symbol of the destruction caused by the wildfire. Efforts to rebuild the area are underway, but the emotional and financial toll on the residents is significant. Many families have lost their homes, their businesses, and their livelihoods, and they face an uncertain future as they try to navigate the challenges of starting over. However, there has been a remarkable display of resilience within the community, with neighbors coming together to support one another in the face of adversity as the community begins the long and difficult process of rebuilding. The authorities continue their efforts to bring justice to those affected by the fires. The investigation into Rinderknecht's role in starting the fire is still ongoing. Authorities are working to gather all the evidence necessary to ensure that justice is served. While the arrest brings some closure to the case, it also raises questions about the effectiveness of fire prevention measures, emergency preparedness, and the overall response to such disasters. Many in the community are calling for reforms to prevent a similar tragedy from occurring in the future. The case of the Pacific Palisades Wildfire serves as a stark reminder of the dangers posed by wildfires in California, particularly in areas where the conditions are ripe for rapid spread. While the state has made significant strides in wildfire prevention and management, the Pacific Palisades fire highlights the vulnerabilities that still exist, especially when arson is involved. Authorities are now calling for stricter regulations on fire, safety, and increased funding for wildfire prevention programs to ensure that communities like Pacific Palisades are better prepared for future disasters. In conclusion, the arrest of Jonathan Rinderknecht represents a significant moment in the aftermath of the deadly January wildfire. While it does not erase the pain and loss experienced by those who lived through the fire, it provides a sense of justice and accountability. As the investigation continues, the focus will now shift to how to prevent future disasters and ensure that communities are better prepared for the challenges posed by wildfires. The rebuilding process will be long and arduous, but the spirit of resilience and unity within the Pacific Palisades neighborhood remains strong.